Hey guys, it's Barb, and this is my Artsnacks unboxing and review. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to see more of these videos. Now let's check it out. I'm always really excited to get these boxes every month, so let's see what's inside. Occasionally Artsnacks includes information cards on new products. This particular one is for LIQUITEX ACRYLIC GOUACHE. And it looks like I have received the primary red version of this. And we'll have a closer look at that later, but this is a pretty cool new product I'm excited to try. Next we have the menu card, and this details everything inside the box, a little bit about it. It also gives you directions on how to reach Artsnacks on social media. Their sticker, the snack this time is a Sweet Tarts. And of course we have our green tissue that contains the rest of our items for this box. Our first item is a Cretacolor MegaGraphite pencil in HB. Next we have the Winsor Galeria short handle brush, round size 3. And lastly a Sakura Microperm Pen in a size 0.3. I'm going to start by using the MegaGraphite pencil. This is a really interesting pencil. Again, it's one of the jumbo size. This is pretty common for Artsnacks. They tend to send a lot of jumbo size products. What's really nice about this one is you can use it in small details, but also to cover large areas. This pencil has a 10mm diameter body, and it has a really high quality graphite in it, and it definitely feels smooth. It actually almost feels more like a colored pencil when you're using it as opposed to a traditional pencil. I'm really liking it here for doing just the leaf area. I'm using a Strathmore mixed media paper, so this paper is going to be ideal for both wet and dry media. One of the things I really liked about this pencil is that it has such a strong core that it didn't really feel like I needed to sharpen it very often. In fact, I didn't sharpen it once for the entire time that I ended up using it, and even when I was doing some test demonstrations beforehand, it kept its point really well, which was a really nice feature, and especially because this is a larger size pencil. I mean, it might be a little bit challenging to find a sharpener that it fits in to begin with, so it's nice to know that you don't have to continually sharpen it. And also, if you're doing a larger size drawing, it means that you'll get a lot more mileage out of it. The next products I'm going to use are the LIQUITEX ACRYLIC GOUACHE and the Winsor & Newton Galeria short handle brush. Starting with the acrylic gouache, this paint has a really creamy texture, but it's also really fluid as well. You can use this product straight out of the container without watering it down, or you can do that as well, which I'll show you later. It has a really smooth and matte finish, which means it's not going to be reflective. The Galeria brush is also really nice. As you can see, I can do different types of lines and mark making with it. The point on this brush is brilliant. It keeps its shape really well, and I can do a variety of different types of lines as well as broader strokes with it. Jumping back to my illustration now, I'm going to apply this a little bit watered down. Now you might be asking yourself, what is the point of an acrylic gouache? If you're not familiar with what traditional gouache is like, it's essentially an opaque watercolor that is resoluble. It still has a matte finish, but it's not water resistant when it's dry. So with the combination of the acrylic base in this gouache, what ends up happening is that it'll be permanent when it's dry and it won't be able to be reactivated. It's also retaining a lot of the qualities that a traditional gouache has, which again means that it'll have a watercolor-like quality and also be a very matte finish. At the end of the day, if you're the type of artist that always thought, why can't these two mediums be more like each other, you've now got a product that is essentially a marriage of the two, and I have to say it's a really great innovation. I really appreciate LIQUITEX as a company because I find they're always trying to not only push the boundaries with what they're doing with products, but they're also thinking of the functionality of things. You'll notice at the beginning of this section, the tip on this product helps for an easy pour out of the container. I'm not sure how it'll do when you get sort of more towards the bottom. Because of how this product is designed though, you could probably just store it upside down once it gets to that point. They definitely seem to pay a lot of attention to packaging, which is definitely part of the experience of using a product, so I appreciate that they think of those little details to help make your interaction with their product better. So as you can see, I'm using this product a little bit more watered down in certain areas of my roses. I love that there's that option and it still feels really highly pigmented. It doesn't feel like the pigment is compromised when it's being watered down. One thing to keep in mind with certain products, I know sometimes some people feel when you see something in a small quantity or that the product looks small itself and it's kind of expensive, there's a little bit of apprehension to buy it because you think, well, I'm not getting that much and it costs so much. But in products that are higher quality and highly pigmented, you actually don't need to use a lot of it to get a lot out of it. And that's really something to keep in mind, because in a container like this, I mean, I'm using a very small amount and I can do quite a large piece with just what I've put out on my paper palette. It comes down to quality over quantity in this case, so don't let that be a deterrent for you if you really want to try a product and you're worried that, you know, there isn't a lot in the container and it costs a lot. With some brands, that's also often determined by the type of pigment being used and the quality of it. In the end, just don't be afraid to do a little bit of research. Our last product is the Sakura Microperm Pen. This pen has a protected tip on it to prevent splitting. It has an excellent flow. It doesn't feel like it's just going to stop working at any point, which is always a bit of a sticking point for me when it comes to fine liners, but this one seems really great. It has a little bit of a scent to it, so even though it doesn't say that it has alcohol in it, it sort of seems like it might. The ink is also waterproof and permanent, which for me is always a great bonus in a pen. I'm using the pen here just to create some outlines on the edges of my roses. I'm also going to use it in the area that I used the pencil. And it's going over top of everything really nicely. There's no lagging or sticking anywhere. The combination of these products together is also really nice. Everything is playing really nice together and not causing any issues. And again, here when I'm using it over top of the graphite areas, it's going over really well and not causing any issues. Even though this pen is made by the same company that makes the Pigma Micron pens, I think I like this particular one a little bit better than that line. It seems to be, again, a lot more consistent. I will say that some of the lines on this paper, it seemed like there was just a little bit of bleed on the ink line, so it'd be interesting to try that in different papers and see if it still does that. That would be my only real critique on this one, but otherwise it's a pretty great product. And here's a final look at my illustration using all of the products in the November Artsnacks box. My favorite product was definitely the acrylic gouache. I love the versatility that it had, and I think it actually might be a really great product to use in combination with colored pencil. So stay tuned, because I think I'm going to do a video on that as well. If you'd like to know more about Artsnacks, you can find them at artsnacks.co or here on YouTube. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you next time.